again. It's the Blind Pursuit Podcast. I'm your boy, Kim's Foreign, and the man of the hour, the man who keeps getting turned down by nursing homes because he's too damn good. My co-host, Flavius. What up, bro?
Thank you so much. I was just digging on that intro music. I like that. I'm doing good.
Yeah,
We're having a
man.
windy weather event here at Austin.
Yeah, man. So that beat that you heard from the jump, man, that was from a song I done did like 6 years ago. It's called Hardships, man.
Yeah, it's
So
good.
have
It
you?
has lasted. It's held up well over 6 years. I was liking that.
Yeah, man. That song, I was the first verse. I was talking about baby mama drama, and the homie that was on the track, second verse, he was talking about serving time in jail.
Yow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. Welcome everybody to the show again. Remember, my name is Kim Sporen. This is Flavius, and if you're liking what you're hearing, please share the podcast. Subscribe to the podcast. That will definitely help us out. Give us 5 stars. That'll definitely help us out. But, whew, man, what a week, bro. I'm telling you, man. I'm just tired,
A
bro.
rough one, was it? What's going on?
Just tired, bro. I be like, that's how I'm feeling right now, man. But it's all good though, man,
Watch
because we
out.
gotta get this stuff out to the people. You know what I mean?
We do.
So speaking of hardships, though, man, how was your week, bro? I mean,
Oh man, yesterday was pretty weird. I ended up like doubling as a storage unit and a family therapist. A friend of mine is coming out of this thing, and I don't exactly understand this. He's polyamorous, okay? And it's like I
all
think
right,
there
for
was
those
six.
that don't know what you just said, tell them what that
Yeah.
means.
Well, I think it means like you're married to more than one person
Is that
at the
legal though?
same
Is that
at the
legal?
same time. Well, I think they just do it kind of informally, they like agree among themselves.
Oh, okay. So it's like getting paid under the table type deal.
Yeah, I don't think they put anything in writing. So, and I don't know. He he's finally leaving that thing, and he wanted to store a bunch of his stuff over here at my house because I got room. So now I got his bass guitar and amps and stuff. And I was trying to be sympathetic, but when you don't know, you don't know. And so so I was like doing the best I could. But yeah, that's uh that's been about the strangest thing that happened to me this week. Otherwise, it hadn't been that bad.
So how many people are involved with this polywana cracker deal that you got going on?
I think it started off with like about, as time went by, like two or three of them would go, no, we're out. And I think it ended up just him and I believe one other lady, I hope, but
Well, you hope she's a lady
don't
or
quote
what?
me on this. I mean, I hope there was a lady involved. I don't quote me on any of this now, because if there's a quiz, I would fail. I don't understand how you could think that was going to work out all right. But so I think it ended up that he was like mainly, washing the dishes and taking out the trash and stuff. And he must have figured, well,
Oh,
I could do that by myself. so so he packed up all his stuff, and I guess they went through an equivalent of a divorce, and he said every that she was cool about it and stuff, but he was sad, like when you end like a monogamous relationship, it's still sad. So he was sad. And like I say, I wanted to be sympathetic, but when you don't know anything about what that's like, you have to mainly just listen. So
So are you talking about like in this polyamorous thing, they all have relations with each other? Because they're all married couples, right?
well, I think that's the deal. It's you
So like the
know,
husband and the
uh,
husband, the husband and the wife. That's just
I don't know. I I wasn't there. I ain't going there. You know, monogamy was plenty for me to negotiate when, during the times I've been married. It took up everything I had to try to make those things work out right. And I would not be the person to try out this polyamory, especially after seeing this, because you know, uh, just the essential unfamiliarity of it all. I mean, how are you gonna manage that thing? I don't know. I, there's experimenting and being imaginative, but I don't know. I would not be the one to do that.
you think we should get him on the podcast? You think
I kind of don't think
you
he'd
think
want
you
to
think the
do.
blind community
He's.
will you think the blind community will pursue
I'm afraid they might be calling him up. Going, what was that like?
Hey,
You know,
can you share her with me too?
yeah.
Just send her over on FedEx.
Yeah. I would hesitate to do that for everyone's sake. He's a good guy though, and a good bass player.
Everyone's using protection though, right? I mean, they all know each other, so they ain't gonna worry about STDs or nothing like that.
I don't know, because it would only take one bad apple to spoil the whole bunch, about what you're saying. So I don't know. I
Oh man, so
it's beyond me. As you pointed out earlier, I am a little older, and you get kind of set in your ways. And this time, I think that's a good thing.
agreed, man. So,
Yeah.
but on the flip side over here, man, I'm just grinding and grinding. I'm waiting on this engineer to get
What's going on
better.
with that?
I told you about him, man. It's funny though, cause what you called him a nymphomaniac, right? Or I mean, what's the word you
I
use?
didn't call him that. Where is your mind, Daddy O? I,
Wait. Oh, hypochondriac. That's what
yeah,
you
yeah,
called
very
him.
different. Yeah. Sick, not sex. Yeah.
But yeah, man, just waiting on him to get better so I can release the EP and y'all just stay subscribed. Or if you're on my Facebook, I'll be letting people know when it drops. But when it does drop,
Yeah. How
it'll be in
many
the show
tunes are on
notes.
that thing?
3.
Yeah.
And with my music, man, I really wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm not like these gangsters talking about, bling and ice and whatnot, and how many
Yeah.
women you had sex with, how many cops you shot, and how many times you've been in
Yeah.
and out of jail. So if you
Right.
respect realism, you'll listen to my music, you know. But
Yeah.
but yeah, for me though, like I said, grinding. Um, we have guests lined up that we can't wait for you guys to check out coming up. And just like I said, stay subscribed and spread the word and let's get it. But on my end, though, I found out a few days ago, actually over a week ago. By the time this podcast comes out, it'll be months ago.
Yeah. But it's still a few days.
Exactly. My youngest daughter got her
Oh,
license.
yeah.
And she's 18, man. Getting her
And
license at
she's your
18.
youngest.
Yeah, my youngest. So we got to give her a round of applause for that one.
All right.
Then my oldest daughter, several days later, sent me a FaceTime video, which it always cracks me up because she knows dad's blind, right?
Yeah.
Um, her and her man did a gender reveal because can't remember if I mentioned that I'm a grandpa on the last podcast, but she's gonna have a boy.
Rock in.
So I told her, I texted her back. I'm like, hey, I got a good name for you. You gotta name him Brad.
Oh man. Are you sure?
She texted
I
back.
don't know.
She texted back, Brad. That's such a white name, Dad.
It is. It's also reckoned as one of the most unattractive names. Somebody sent me a reel one time on Facebook, and they were this guy was going over a list of unattractive names, and Brad was on that list. So you better let her follow her own like spirit with that.
Yeah, but she's part Cambodian, part Hispanic. What kind of name could you come up with
All
that though?
all human being. That's what.
I mean, could she name it Fred? Him Fred?
No, you don't want to do that.
What's wrong with
That's
Fred?
if possible, that's even whiter than Brad.
Oscar? What
I
about
mean,
Oscar?
if, for the Oscars are coming up here. I don't know. I think you better let her do it.
Yeah, I wonder how she
She'll
came up with. No, yeah, she came up with the granddaughter, her daughter's
she'll
name.
come through. Yeah, that's a pretty name, Valerie. That's nice.
So how did you guys come up with your kids' names?
Oh man. Um, let's see. Now my oldest daughter, I just knew. I knew she was going to be Leah,
That
and
is a pretty
my
name, though. I will
my
say.
ex my ex wife at the time. Well, she was my wife at the time, not my ex wife at the time, but she had uh she just kept she was anxious, about, well, I need to they they're from East Texas, so they got like all kinds of relatives of relatives of relatives. And she kept naming all these other things. But this was like one of the few times uh, I wouldn't say we were arguing, but I just kept going, no, I like Leah, and kept calm. And somehow I rode through and got that one to happen. And it's she is definitely a Leah. She's kind of a smaller, physically smaller person, super energetic. And I don't know what that has to do with Leah, but there's just like a feeling when I hear that name of a certain kind of person, really good at planning, able to understand the concept of powering through, like when you got to do a bunch of things at once. And she is very organized, and somehow in a way that doesn't make sense to me and would certainly make sense to no one else. I think it has to do with that name. So,
What about the other kids?
and
You you,
then
you
then
have
my
three, right?
my youngest daughter, no, I have two. My youngest daughter, Anna, I think we both just agreed on that. Uh,
Is
wasn't
that short for
necessarily
something? I mean, Anna, like
no,
Anastasia.
no. It's just a sweet little palindrome of a name. But she she has just kind of grown into that name. She's like the ultimate mother. There's something about her. Her strength is like multitasking. Like if I tried to do two things at once, I'll get zero things done. But she's
Some
like
will say
super
that's a
good at
guy
that.
thing, though.
It probably is to an extent, but I think most guys can manage multitasking better than I do. I am serial. I think of like one thing and go, do this and then. And she is so opposite of that. It's just funny because she's got like three youngest children right now. And so when I see her, she'll be telling me the meaning of life or some like really important thing and watching all three of them at the same time. So
Does she do
Yeah,
tarot
she is.
cards?
She does not. No, no, no. She doesn't have time from all that other multitasking,
Well, that can be included in the multitasking, right?
But then it would be double multitasking. I don't know if she's up for that today, but maybe next year.
Yeah, so I think the last time I think, yeah, I mentioned that I got 5 kids, 2 boys, 3 girls, 2 different baby mamas, and a partridge in a pear tree, right? Kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um, the, the baby mama number one, her mom named the boys, and I think they were biblical based because the oldest, his name is Seth, and then
yeah,
the next one, Lucas. I used to read the Bible, but I don't. I it's kind of like an off and on kind of thing. Me and God,
yeah,
we kind of have like a love hate relationship.
yeah,
Uh, and then there's Isabel. Now I did not know I was Isabel's father until she was like 5 months. So she's already been named, before the fact. So if I had it my way, quote unquote, I probably would have named her Yesenia. And the reason why is because when I was tutoring in the school district 26 years ago, one of my students, her name was Yesenia, and she was
yeah,
very feisty, but she still got things done, and she really made you work for your money. You know what I mean? Like if you're teaching her.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Like a student should.
yeah. And then, the other two were born, so I picked Asiana, and me
Yeah,
being Cambodian, you guys can put one and one together. I just wanted a name that'll represent the culture, and my sister be like, "Oh, why did you do that? I was
oh
gonna
man,
name
that's
my,
a beautiful
well, I
name.
was gonna
That's
name
a
my daughter Asiana." I'm like, "What makes you think you still can? I mean, it's not like
yeah,
against the law,
really.
you know."
Yeah, they're often similar names in families. My brother's middle name is Larkin, and they have apparently had a Larkin in my family who worked for the railroad in some capacity for like 200 years. So yeah, she could definitely do that.
And then the last Mohican was her name Cherish, and that's self-explanatory why I named her Cherish because we were done having
Yeah,
kids.
yeah,
And then she went off and got her tubes tied. Not Cherish, but the mom.
yeah,
And she probably regrets that now because she got a new man. Can you believe that though, bro? Like her man is 22 years older than her, bro. So like,
yeah.
what's your thoughts about that, bro? Would you ever date someone that young? He's your age.
I would I have apparently like a different orientation. To me it is all about feeling. Now I would not, at my age, I'm 67. I would not date someone who was like 20. I think that would be somehow indecent. But once a person gets up like
That's
30,
nasty, bro. Cause think about it, man. Like,
35-ish, 40,
cause
they're grown-ups. That it's not like, like you're running a game on somebody or anything. I would, if I had feelings for the person, I would. If they were in their 40s, yeah, I would.
so your line that you will not cross is above 20 years. Is that what you're saying?
I don't I don't really have a line, but I mean that's so unlikely to happen anyway. You can't imagine me like walking out the door and some 25-year-old going, "Hey, let's date." That's not going to happen.
Sugar daddy
I
alert! Sugar daddy alert! That's
Yeah,
what
I
they said.
probably wouldn't anyway. It's not, you know, certainly you think physically that would be appealing, but otherwise, no, I don't think that would be interesting at all because young people are about, they're learning very different things. And there is kind of, I think, what you're getting at. There would be just sort of a pervy thing about that. I don't know. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, you guys let us know what your thoughts are. I mean, do you think it's perverse behavior if a 66-year-old man dated that someone started? I mean, like, it happens with celebrities, bro. Like Hulk Hogan, right?
Yeah,
Terry Bollea. I know people listening. All of you guys heard of Hulk Hogan, okay? Because he's been in movies. But
right.
his last wife, or because he passed away recently, but
Yeah.
I
Did he
can't.
pass away from dating one so young? Did she like wear him out or
Oh, I
what
can't
happened?
remember the story. Something like he went into cardiac arrest and
Ow.
just died in his sleep, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, but
Well,
his wife is damn near, because Hogan's like 70, but I can't remember when they got married. So,
yeah.
but he was in his 60s, and his wife was in her 30s, like 33. But the scarier part is the wife looks just like his daughter.
Yeah. That's that's strange. I'll give you that. That's pretty weird.
So, but yeah, guys. Yeah. So polyamorous and kids'
Yeah,
names.
old and young.
Yeah, kids' names. Let us know. Like, how did you guys pick your names for your kids if you got kids and all that? What do you guys think about polyamorous? I mean, to me, like as you were explaining it though, circling back to it, it just sounds like swingers, but it's not really swinging because they're keeping it in the family, so to speak, right?
I guess. I I just can't imagine how you would even get started with that.
Yeah, imagine
Like,
that meeting. Okay, Fred. Tomorrow you're gonna sleep with Pam. Pam, tomorrow you're gonna
I
sleep with
know, see,
me.
you'd have to have like a bulletin board and you go, wait a minute, it's my turn.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know that. And C plus, back to what I was talking about, would you really have like a deep connection with all these people, or would it just be about the sex?
It has
And
to be.
I respectfully submit that I don't see how you could have a genuine connection with everybody like that. It just doesn't seem real to me.
And how long have this gone? 20 years, 10 years, 15?
I think at least 15 years because
And nobody has a baby
an,
yet?
another friend of ours, no, but another friend of ours who loves to gossip told me that she saw them in the group's heyday when there were like about when all six of them were together. She saw them at a restaurant one night. They were all getting into their cups, a little bit, and getting. She said it was just kind of disgusting to watch. She goes, "That's when they need to get a room," is what she said. so, so yeah, I think it's. Uh, I don't know. I should not pass judgment except to say that I would not do that, as far as I know. Now, I might walk out tomorrow and be hit over the head with something and wake up and be a different person. But based on what I know about myself now, no, I would not be doing that.
Well, I've been single since divorce, so I don't think I'm interested in doing stuff like that. Even if I had the chance,
Yeah.
you would have to like pay me a large amount and give me a loads of crack or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, it's
because I don't.
plus, I mean, there's just the whole thing of like, how do you support the household? There's all that practical, like everyday stuff, like who's washing the clothes. And then I think I mentioned the trash and stuff earlier. It would get so weird because I bet you it turns into like one guy has to do all the grunt work. And I don't know. I just the way human groups work in general, I just cannot see that would work out.
And these guys are all sighted, right? Not that it matters,
Yeah,
because
but they are.
blind folk probably do polyamorous. I mean, we got what, over 3 billion people on the planet, bro. Some of these, everybody's into something, but
Yeah,
I just couldn't
yeah.
do it though because I'll just publicly say it. I get attached real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, that's me. I'm big on, is this person living in my heart? Have I made, and that's subjective and people could dismiss it. But I just feel like in that there would be like a lot of objectifying. Imagine some guy, I'm living with two beautiful women. It would be like him saying, I've got two high performance cars parked out there in the front. I don't know. I'm just not able to understand how you could do that.
and he was. You said 15 years, so he was married when he was doing all this.
Well, as far as I know, I don't
People are
know.
probably thinking you guys are really stuck on this, huh? Because we talking about
I
something
know
else that
is
we
we
circled
can't
back.
really. I know, but it is it's I don't know what his marital status was, because there's like what the law will allow. And I'm pretty certain that polygamy, like when people used to have more than one wife, is illegal. So whatever they did was probably just an understanding between them. But but again, don't quiz me on it because I don't know anything about that for sure, except that he was over here last night all weepy and thanks man, and and now I've got his bass guitar here in my house.
So yeah, I mean, from the jump on with the intro music, like I said, that song was called "Hardships." So that's one of your homies, the hardships he's going through right
There you
now.
go. Yeah, he could put another verse to your song.
But hey, man, it shows that you a good friend, though, man. Putting him up and stuff like that. Not
Well,
putting him up,
people,
but just like
but
having his stuff there.
people in the past have been like super kind to me when I was in like between a rock and a hard place. I know what that feels like, sort of. So
Do you think it's a blind thing? Which I will tell you right now, I don't think it is. But a lot of blind folks that I've met, and over the years, they're just way too kind. You know what I'm saying? Like to the point where they just become a doormat. Do you think that's them just trying to be accepted, like subconsciously, like I just want people to like me. You know what I mean? Because I'm blind.
I
I
don't
don't, I don't
know.
feel I don't feel accepted. Why do you
I
think
don't know
people? Why do you
about
think
that.
some? Why do you think people or blind folks, however you want to answer, are just too kind, and then you end up getting effed over and over and over, and you just, I'm like, dude, you don't get it. You just stop helping them. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I guess I have experienced situations where somebody was needy and I finally had to say, I can't do this anymore. This is not working. But I, I I I don't know. Statistically, I don't know how to answer your question. Uh,
Well, I'm just looking
I
for
have
your
known
opinion. I ain't looking for stats.
I've known like very generous blind people. I've also known very flinty blind people who would like worry it down to the penny. So I I think I'm not sure it has anything to do really with blindness. I think it's just a people thing. Uh, some of us put a value on what would you call it, like the expression of empathy, and I kind of hope I am such a person. I would rather be such a person because in in other situations, when I was down for one reason or another, people have extended themselves to me and been kind to me. And that has a lot to do with why I try to find ways to help other people out.
And you don't expect
And
anything
people,
in return.
well, if you expect something from helping somebody out, then your motive is different. You're saying, I'm going to do this for you so you can do this for me. And I've seen people get into it like about thank you notes and stuff, but if you're doing that, is like you give somebody a gift and they don't send you a thank you note back. I have heard people just go volcanic over how mad that made them. And in a strictly like
But
societal sense,
okay, hold on,
you
hold on.
can,
Stop there. So
all
do
right.
you think that's just if you don't send a thank you note or it's a thank some a thank you period, right? Some sort of
Yeah.
acknowledgement. Don't you think that's not being courteous? You know what I'm saying? Like the other day, let me expand on this. Like the other day,
All right.
my coworker was talking about um, sending emails, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, man, I know you read the email." He's not talking about me. I mean, he could have been, but um, hey, at least just reply so I know you got the message. Just
Yeah.
common courtesy.
Right.
So yeah, with the gift thing, don't you think it's just like, hey, man, at least say thank you or something? I mean,
I agree that it is common courtesy. And I always try to do that when someone helps me out that way. But from the point of view of the giver, if you give somebody something and you have expectations, this is kind of a subtle, kind of a strange distinction. And I may be the only person who thinks this, but to truly give somebody something is detaching that something from yourself and giving it to the other person and going on about your business. Now, if they thank you, that's wonderful. That's a good feeling. But
it's not a
if
requirement though in your eyes.
it's not in this, I would not require it of other people. I would do it if other people gave me something. But, like, for instance, if I gave you something and then got mad because you didn't send a thank you note, is it a gift then, or is it some kind of subtle social transaction? Like, am I going, I'm going to give him this so he will feel obligated and thank me, and his thanking of me will make me feel magnanimous and generous and, like, who knows what. But I I don't know. I You have accused me before of overanalyzing things, and I think this is probably like a classic case. But yeah, I would not necessarily expect people to thank me. I heard you chuckling. That's pretty good. But yeah, I'm different that way, I think.
No, I feel you. I feel you though. But for me though, I just say thank you just because, like, if somebody gives me $20, that could have been their last $20. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Plus, I want to know. I thank people because I want them to know I'm thankful. Very simple, but not everybody gets around to doing that.
So, what do you guys think out there in podcast land? Um, do you think it's a requirement that if you give Jafar, a gift card to Walmart, he should say thank you? You know what I mean? Or like Flavius, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm not expecting any response. I'm just glad I could help, you know?
Yeah, because
So,
the probably the real answer may lie somewhere in between those two things, or it might vary with the situation. It's a tough one to puzzle out sometimes.
But yeah, man, I'm really excited though. Like coming up, like I said earlier, we got guests coming up. Um,
Yeah.
and the beauty about this podcast, like I've mentioned on the previous one, if you did not get a chance to listen to that, go back and listen to that so you can get to know who we are. Um,
Yeah, we were introducing ourselves to ourselves.
yeah, and why we do what we're doing, so we don't have to be redundant and repeat it on every podcast. And but yeah, so every guest we have, it's gonna be like reading a different book. So I'm pretty excited about it. And most of these, some of these, not all of them, but Flavius will not be a part of, due to real life. But that's okay. He will be around more often than not. So um, I'm pretty excited about it. So I hope you guys again share, subscribe, email. It's kims4n at gmail.com if you would like to participate. Flavius, what's your email?
If you want to email me, the best one is Bradford, Bradford dot Trainham, Trainham at gmail.com. Just send it along to that and I'll reply. I will reply. Common courtesy will have me reply.
And check your spam. Because if you
Yeah,
don't hear back, check the spam. But he's
exactly.
not ignoring you. 'Cause trust me, like,
No, no, I'm not.
and that leads me to another topic. You and I talked about this, off record, but like, I can't remember what your response was. Well, how are you, man? Like, when it comes to if you send a message to somebody and they take forever to respond. Speaking of common courtesy, I mean, like, dude, really? I could have sent you a message saying I was dying or whatever, and you wrote back 13 days later, I'm already at the funeral, kind of deal. So, like, what's
I
your quote unquote expectation, or do you think like, oh, they'll get back to me when they want to, kind of deal?
I am always hopeful that people will choose to answer, as they say, in a timely manner.
What's a
And
timely manner to you?
oh, within the day, if they could. Let's say 24 hours. I think that's
That
reasonable.
makes
That
sense. I mean,
way,
because I think because
if the person's in like the middle of a life emergency, the aliens just landed in my bathtub, I got something I got to take care of, I'll text you in a minute.
I'm in the middle of
Let them,
Fortnite.
yeah, let them deal with the aliens. And then I think 24 hours would work.
That sounds just about right. I mean, because at the school, we try to teach our students about communication and
Yeah.
such and such, and we try to stress, hey, 24 hours. We should be able to hear back from you. Um,
Yeah. And I don't know if I came up with that one on my own or if it's just kind of been implied, as texting has grown like as a thing in the culture. But I think 24 hours ought to work. Because beyond that, you start wondering, did they see it? Did they get it? Do they care? Do they, you get all into that.
it's kind of like I guess it all depends on the circumstance why people would send a message back. Like if it's business related, I'm sure they will respond. I'm
Yeah.
hoping because time is
Yeah.
money, right? So if you don't
And in a
respond, we can't
work
progress.
situation, yeah, it's a bigger deal. Work related stuff, you really owe it to yourself and the people you work with to be punctual about that kind of stuff.
Cause I thought it was just me, but like I try to respond right when I see it, but I always have my phone on me, and um, I don't got a lot of friends though, so that's why I'm not that busy. If I am busy, I'm just in my own lane. Working on the podcast or making a beat or something. I
Yeah.
gotta find another hobby. So like I downloaded and I got reinstated into the Bard service, right? So
There you go.
I need to find a book.
Yeah.
I need to find a book, but that won't leave me crying like when I read the books about the Khmer Rouge and survivors from there, and how I read about
Yeah.
Cambodian families and eating
Yeah.
bunnies and snake soup, and I'm like, people getting
That
murdered.
that
Ugh.
will have you crying. That was a rough time. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there to read, a lot of good stuff out there to stream. And
Yeah,
so,
like our
yeah,
podcast. You could stream our podcast.
yeah, there you go.
What are you
But
reading right now? Are you reading any books, good books right now?
oh man, I'm reading this book called The Potato Factory. And I have yet to know why they named it that, but it's about a gangster in like 19th century London named Ike Solomon. And the guy really existed. The book is like historical fiction, but he's being arrested. And back then, they used to, in England, I guess, when you ran afoul of the law and it was something really bad, they would they called it transporting you. They sent you away to Australia, you know, and you I'm not the best person in the world with maps, but Australia is a long way from England, like the Pacific and the South Pacific. It's you'd be being transported a while. So yeah, I'm reading that book, and he's about, I think, to get his sentence from the judge that he's going to have to go to Australia. So, but yeah, I tend to read a lot. I love history and get all into the stuff that's already happened.
That's one of the things that I
So
struggle with. Like, and I blame it on my college years and raising kids at a young age because I don't know how to relax, bro. Like, because I'm
yeah,
so used to, like, back in the day, I'm sure all you cats out there that attended college or that currently attending, you got homework, you got studying, you got this and that. And you turn around, there's been times where I'm studying at 12:30 in the morning, and then the baby wakes up. I'm feeding the
yeah,
child or changing the diaper or whatever. And that's why, like, one of the things I love about having audio or cassette tapes, like we touched on the last podcast.
yeah,
Just have it playing, and I'm just holding the baby, the bottle, da da da. And I'm not like super dad or anything like that. It's just, the wife had to get up at 4 in the morning, so I figure, hey, I'm just a bum going to college, so
yeah.
let me take care of the baby. And then when I got a job, we kind of rotated. You know what I'm saying? So what was your grind like? I mean, you touched
Oh
on
man,
college last time.
I'm ashamed to admit what my college was like. Whereas as you couldn't relax, this was the 70s, and may I say I was a little too relaxed. I was young. I think I was pretty immature when I went off to college. Um, one of the I didn't see this at the time, but one of the things that really motivated me to go to college was to get away from home. I am from like a small town in Alabama, like way out in the country, and I was bored. I think I've mentioned this to you before. There was a lot of pressure from, especially my mom. She wanted me to be a preacher for whatever reason, and I didn't want to do that. I thought at the time I wanted to be a classical guitarist, but I got up to college. I had always been able to bluff, so I really wasn't a very good student. And
But you weren't
yeah,
raising kids while you were attending college,
I
though,
was
right?
not. No,
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
See,
That my
you were smart though. I mean, I'm not saying people are dumb that do that,
well,
but you know,
well,
I was just
that would be an excellent jumping off point into a discussion because I may not have been that smart. I did not always cultivate good studying habits and stuff when I was in college. But my daughter keeps hassling me. She said, now you need to go back to school and get your history degree. So I might up and do that one day.
You could probably teach the class.
Well, I do love this history, and I have, I'm always razzing you about reading the histories. So you know.
Yeah, so we are coming up towards the top of the hour for us, and we should have our guest calling in soon.
Yeah, good.
But in the meantime, we'll just keep blase, like I say. But what you got any cool things coming up soon this week? Because I know you and I don't think we talked about it though on the podcast. You do things like, because some people believe blind people don't do anything. So you got activities, right? Yeah, I mean, didn't you
Well, I
mention
got a
like,
few things going on. I've I've got a creative writing class coming up here, and it looks like Mike is in now, so good.
all right, so
And
let's just quickly wrap up your activities real quick, and then we'll bring them in.
yeah, because we've got creative writing. I've got a few other things going on this week. It'll be a relatively quiet week, but a fun one. So, yeah,
All right, guys. So we are gonna bring in our first guest. His name is Mike Hamley. I've known him for a couple of years through playing video games, and yes, blind people do play video games. And let's bring him in.
very good. Okay, Mike, you ready? You might be muted.
You can unmute him, right?
I think I got it now.
There he is.
There you are. So
Thanks, Mike. Thank you
Sorry
for your
about that.
patience. Oh, don't
No,
worry.
no.
Thank you for your patience.
It
I'm
happens,
making a
it
big
happens.
assumption here.
So, ladies and
This is the first go
gentlemen,
around.
ladies and gentlemen, this is our first guest. Like I said, I've known this man for a couple of years. Jokingly, I call him my hero, and you'll find out why soon. But welcome to the show, Mike Hamley, Blind Pursuit. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. So,
Yeah.
the purpose behind this podcast is we just like to interview blind folks all around the world. As the song goes, and we like to pick their brain about grinding as a blind person, so to speak. So, first and foremost, I know I already asked you this, but how are you doing? You doing good, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, we're getting some cold weather up here in Canada and piles of snow and about
Wow.
-17 Celsius. So yeah. So
Oh, man, really? Where
yeah,
in Canada are you? Where are you
I
in
am
Canada?
in a province called Alberta, which is right beside British Columbia,
Yeah.
and then I'm in a city called Calgary.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The last time I went to Canada, I think I went to Vancouver, BC. I was just a little boy, and I fell in love with Chinatown over there in
Yes.
Vancouver,
Yeah.
BC. And I went to a place, Queen Elizabeth Park. Where's that at? Have you heard of that, Mike?
In Vancouver. Yeah, I've never been there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was like, I don't know, my previous life, but it was fun. It was fun. I mean, Chinatown was awesome. The fruit was off the chain, but so yeah, straight out the gate, if you don't mind, whatever you don't feel comfortable answering,
Oh no, it's
just
fine.
let us know.
I'm pretty
Um,
open. So
You're pretty old. How old
all
are
good.
you? How old are you?
Same age as my tongue and a little older than my teeth.
There you go. Who could
No,
argue with that?
I will be 55 in July.
Young guy.
Yeah. We're not all babies like Gibson.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm So like I was telling people, I've known you for a couple of years, and
Yeah,
it's because of video games and da da da. Da. But
definitely.
um, when did you lose your vision?
I had a car accident at the age of 23 back on July 31st, 1994. I was
Wow.
driving my truck. I was working on the farm at the time. It was about 2 miles from my doorstep. Rolled the truck, lost control, got thrown out the windshield, and I broke all the bones in my face, which instantly destroyed my eyes. And then I broke my back at what they call the thoracic nine, which is about your chest level, and paralyzed me from the waist down. I was a paraplegic, so I lost my sight and the use of my legs in the same accident.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
talk
So
about a double whammy.
and I tell everybody, good thing I'm German because I got a thick head, so I'm okay.
Are you really
There you
German?
go.
I didn't know you were German.
Yeah, well, part German. We got a little bit of everything, but so no,
But you got
I'm
that
very. Go ahead, Brad. Sorry.
you got that Teutonic will to continue there. I tell you, that's a
So
lot to deal with.
a little bit of Welshman in there too, so I'm a little stubborn. So
Yeah, good.
yeah, so yeah, no, I actually it took me a little while to figure out, but I'm very fortunate that the injuries that I had, I only lost my sight. I literally took the whole front of my face off.
Yeah. How long of a recovery just physically did you have from all that?
Good question. I was in intensive care for about 3.5 weeks, maybe a month.
Yeah.
Had about 40 hours of surgery, so it took them 18 and a half hours of one surgery to put my face back together. I was awake and stuff, prior to that. I didn't go into coma or anything like that. I was fine
Yeah.
that way. I asked them for the Mel Gibson lip, but that failed.
Well, at least you asked. Yeah.
I did. No, but I wear sunglasses all the time, but there's some scarring in my eyes and stuff. But other than that, I guess my face just looks like it did before. So with a few years
Yeah.
on it. So, but then yeah, so I did was there, and then I was probably in and out of hospital for 2 years after that,
Yeah.
including going to rehabilitation and learning how to, I guess, learning this new life and learning how to,
Yes.
get around in a wheelchair or if you fall out of a wheelchair, you got to get back in and,
Right. Because it would
go.
almost be like waking up and suddenly being in a completely other place, right? Like,
Yes. Yeah, when I woke up in intensive care, well, I guess they had me sedated, I would assume. Don't remember too much, but I thought I was at home on my couch because it was the end of July, so we were heavy into harvest and whatnot on the
yeah.
farm, and I didn't know where I was. So and then
Wow.
they told me, and then I conked out again. So
So,
don't remember too
Gosh.
much from then. That's pretty sketchy back then in August of 1994. It was
Yeah.
which is probably a good thing.
so I know you
Yeah.
just said you don't remember a lot, but like, what
Uh,
was life like for you prior to the accident, and how did you adapt over time? Like, because when some people lose something, whether it be their vision, their hearing, it hits them
yeah,
really, really, really hard, and they just want to give up. You know what I mean? Like, how am I gonna do this? See, you lost your vision and from the waist below, so like, but like
well,
you could still use your arms and all that. But
oh yeah.
what was life before all this? And then how did you, like I said, how did you adapt to it? You know,
Um, I I was kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. I was a welder. I was a mechanic. I was a did the cowboy thing for a while, breaking bulls and horses. And I was married and two little kids when I had my accident. They were 1 and 3. And yeah, you just do it, right? I mean, that was my
Yeah.
dad. My dad raised me that way. You just do it, and I think that I was very fortunate. I had that upbringing So, and then you don't take something to town, you learn how to fix it and whatnot on the farm, right? So
Yeah. All the same, though, that
I
is
just
a lot of
continued with
powering
that
through
attitude
you
and
had to
whatnot. And
do.
But this just sounds like old school
oh yeah,
versus
yeah, I had,
new school though. Like when I say old school versus new school, today's generation is like they want everything done for them. So young listeners, take note.
yes. Yeah, and then I was a high school dropout, so I dropped out of high school at just before midterms of grade 10, and I went to work and I went to learn, what I wanted to do, and whether it was
Yeah.
animals, it was welding, it was whatever. So when I had my accident, first and foremost, I had to learn how to read and write.
Right.
So how do you do that? How do you do that? So somebody told me, well, you should get into computers. Well, how the hell do I
Yeah.
use a computer? I can't see the screen.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously that woke me up, and I mean, I dove myself into learning, JAWS, which is a screen reader that
Yeah.
blind people use to navigate the computer through keystrokes, and I learned that, and then I thought, well, I want to do something with this life. I mean, either got to go ahead or I got to shut her down, whichever. And so I looked at the big picture and I challenged my entry exams going into college, and I became a social worker.
Wow.
So you got a master's degree?
No, just a 2-year diploma.
Oh wait, so
It's
No,
like
so so
it's
opening
like I
an account.
told him a while ago. That's more than I have.
So
It's great.
I don't know too much about the education system in Canada, but you
uh,
just got to get a 2 year degree just to become a social worker.
uh, a 2-year diploma, yeah. So to do what I wanted to do, I mean, I'm not licensed to be like a quote unquote counselor, but well, I can get into that if you want what I did after my accident, but so I was one reason why I chose social work was, and I tell this to a lot of people and it sounds a little bit weird, but first of all, I didn't have to do upgrading. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to sit in the classroom and learn math 10, math 20, math 30, or whatever and
Yeah.
all that wasn't for me. So, like I said, I challenged my exams. I passed all my exams in the college. Took a 2-year diploma over about 3.5 years because I never went to school as a blind guy, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck I was doing. So and then I started working for the city, and I just carried on, and yeah. So
What did you do for
rest
the
is
Wow.
city?
they had this was my first job actually after my injury. They had a program called the awareness team. So they would hire people with disabilities to go out and play with kids on the green space, so out in parks and stuff, and teach them about
Yeah.
disability awareness. So that's how we talk about blindness and all that sort of stuff.
Hey man,
That was just a
that's what this
summer job.
podcast
So
is
it was just
about,
some,
though. Too.
Yeah.
yeah, just to get my feet wet. And then I went and worked for an organization called the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, which is our main blind organization up here in Canada. So I worked for them
Yeah.
for 3 years and as an intake worker. So what I did, I really didn't need to have a degree or a master's or a PhD. I did frontline work, and then I left there. Just about 3 years into that job, I got offered another job in another organization, and I actually got paid to cause shit. So
as
I
as
went,
long as they paid you.
you made me, yeah. So I was a disability advocate actually for an organization called the Independent Living Resource Center, which is a national organization we have up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was fighting the financial systems and the housing and the transportation, and I was flying all over Canada, changing policy and legislation
Wow.
and that sort of stuff. And then I got I was fortunate enough to get applied during that time, and I became a member of the up here in Alberta. We have what we call premiers of each province. So I was actually a member with the Premiers Council on the status of person with disabilities. Did that for 7 years, Then I became the chair. So I was the chairman for the province, and that was, you know, looking at policy legislation, kind of an advisory board, if you will. Then I left
So
both. Go ahead, sorry, man.
I was just saying you kind of eased by degree into kind of a position of maybe leadership or making policy, it sounds like. That's great.
Oh yeah, well, it all tied in together because I mean you're fighting appeals, whether it's financial or transportation or whatever, and you dig into their policy and you make them eat their own policy, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
it was fun, but it was stressful. And then I needed a career change. I kind of got burnt out with that job. I did about 4.5 years with that
yeah.
advocacy organization, and then I became an employment counselor, helping people find work. So with a physical disability organization, not a blind organization. So I
Right.
guess I kind of took my dual disabilities and applied them to do the two different
Well,
organizations, well, three, I
that's
guess,
let
organizations. So
me
yeah,
ask
so
you about in the United States, there
yeah,
is a popular
sure.
myth that Canadians are way more polite than we are, except in a hockey situation. And so I'm curious about uh, when you got into the employment counseling stuff. What is the reception like when you're assisting someone in finding a job? Are the hiring people generally open, or do you have a lot of resistance? What is it like?
Yeah, it's hard to sum that up because it's both sides, really. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, there's some people that are open and some people that aren't. I mean, and
yeah,
certainly part of my job was to educate the employers that,
right.
you know, if you've hired someone like me, it isn't going to cost them $50,000.
Yeah.
You know,
See,
those, yeah.
I was had a similar, or at least a parallel part of your own track, because I got into computers as a
Hmm.
blind person back in the early 80s.
Okay.
And I was thinking that back then there was a little bit more kind of in the culture of a willingness to give someone an opportunity or a chance. And right now in the United States, I'm not sure I see that as much
Hmm.
for people out looking for stuff who may have a disability or a challenge of any sort. And I'm just curious what it's like in Canada.
I don't think it's much different. The last stat I heard, with some not basing everything on stats, but they said this maybe about 10 years ago or something, 2/3 of blind people in Canada are unemployed,
Yeah. So that's
which is
when you
probably
say
similar.
Kim's foreign, wouldn't you say that's similar to what's here?
Yeah, I mean, over here they've been saying 70% of the blind population
Yep.
are
Yeah.
unemployed.
So the same, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very similar.
So let me circle back to this because, like I said, we don't know what listeners are listening. You know what they're going through, right? So let's talk about your support system. I mean, you seem like a very strong person, but how did you overcome? Did you ever have nights where you're like, man, just how am I gonna do this? I can't move my legs or I can't see. How long did it take you? You read Braille?
About one word an hour,
Okay.
but
Obviously
but
you
I
use
have
a
a bit,
computer. You have what?
but I have a business.
Yeah, yeah. We'll
Yeah.
get to that in a minute, but
So anyway,
so
I have a business.
we'll get to
Yeah,
that
yeah, I know.
in a minute. So like a while ago, you mentioned kids. So how did your family react to the accident, and how did they adjust and adapt to
Well,
dad being blind? And
I guess in some ways I was fortunate, yeah, that my kids were so small. They don't remember me before, right? They were 1 and 3.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, okay. It's kind
So
of like
that's,
today, man. Like my kids, I got a whole bunch of photos of my hair, right? Like, cause it goes way down past my waist in the braid,
oh,
right?
geez,
And then when
wow.
I show them a picture back when 2000, like 20 years ago, it's just a flat top. They're like, is that you?" And like 50 pounds lighter, right? They're like, "That's you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I gained more weight after I married your mom." And then
Burger King.
exactly, and I kept growing my hair out because I know you guys were going to stress me out. I needed something to pull out. But
But
There you
to
go.
answer your question, I mean, you know, I have thought about that many times. This sounds, and I don't want to get all cheesy and a bunch of BS and whatever. I mean, I had my times. I really had my times where you're right. How the bleep am I gonna do this? But I started talking to people, and I'm not making this up. This isn't a bunch of BS or anything. I the light kind of came on for me, if you will, and I thought, well, I'm hoping that maybe people won't need my help as much as I need theirs. And I got this desire, once I started, I guess probably just like you, Brad. I mean,
Yeah.
computers kind of lit up, learning how to read and write and opening that world. 'Cause there's nothing wrong with Braille. Braille has a place, but how many people know Braille?
Really.
So
Whereas all
I have,
kinds of people know computers. Yeah.
that's right. I have to be able to function as a blind person in a sighted world. And once I kind of figured that out, and I was around other people that were bitter, and I thought, and pardon my mouth, but I don't think anybody wants to be around an asshole or somebody that whines or cries or whatever.
yeah, I mean, it's about that
Do I have my
positive.
moments? Yeah, I do have my
Yeah.
moments, but I try to do it on my own time.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
being around that quote unquote asshole, it ain't gonna, especially if you're going through your trials and tribulations, losing vision and all that ain't gonna help you get to the next level.
Nope. And I mean, no, but both you guys, I know one of you guys has kids, but that was my strength. Those two little kids,
Yeah.
my daughter's the oldest, my son's the youngest. That was what drove me, and I had to move away. I couldn't look after myself. My first wife abandoned me and the kids after the accident. So my
Yeah.
parents, going back to what you said, about the support system. I mean, my parents stepped in. They were wonderful. They helped me raise my kids, and I went, I had to move about 3 hours away so that I was where, education and amenities and transportation, and they're on a farm. I can't function there. There's nothing there for me.
Yeah.
I think you and I talked about this over the years, Mike, that
Yeah,
I had to move 3 hours away from my family because I just didn't want to be a part of the poor blind guy syndrome. You know what I mean?
that's right. Absolutely.
And I told my mom, I'm like, look, if I'm gonna go be somebody, I gotta find out who I'm gonna be. So I'm gonna fail, but
Yeah.
it's
You
kind of
got to
like,
learn, you got to have a space to make your own mistakes so
yes,
you can learn something.
exactly. It's like think back to when you're trying to walk. You're gonna fall, and then you're just gonna get back up.
Yeah.
And
And I'm a big believer in we all have our own time. We all have our own path. So I've heard stories about, well, so and so did this in 2 months. So it might have taken someone else 6 months.
exactly,
It might take
it's
someone
like
else six
Yeah.
years. You
it's
know?
like saying life's a marathon, man, not a sprint. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
So if people are telling you that, I'm just saying this to our listeners, and suck it up, and no, sometimes we just take a little longer. Just like, you got a wound on your arm or something, it takes a little longer to heal than some other people. And that's okay. That's,
Exactly.
Talking about taking a little bit more time, man. So let's talk about some of these gadgets. Yesterday, I was sitting in the kitchen. I had this bag of frozen something. My meta glasses,
frozen something.
my meta glasses just like could not tell
Yeah,
me what the heck was in there. So I know you got the meta glasses, bro. How are you
I do.
liking them glasses, man? How you liking them glasses?
Yeah, well, I am talking on them right now. What I do like about them is uh, I haven't had them that long, so I think they have some kind of noise canceling stuff in them, because someone could stand beside me and talk, and you guys wouldn't hear them. So that
The
way
ones that we
they're great.
have, the ones that we have, Flavis, does that have noise cancellation?
It appears to, yeah. Because
how do you activate that?
I've
Does it activate on its own, or
I think it's automatic because I've been
I never
outside
turned it on.
on
I
a
think so.
call and had
Mhm.
people come up like what Mike was saying and speak to me, and I just kept right on talking.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, they're good. I mean, the AI, the artificial intelligence. You know, we can, for those that don't understand. I mean, these artificial intelligence smart glasses that we're talking about were not actually made for us. They were made for cyclists and people taking videos and probably perverts or whatever. Oh. So, I mean, that's the
I
devil
really
used them.
appreciate you not putting me in that classification.
No, well,
Maybe you better
not
go
there.
back and listen to the first part of the show again.
So anyway, yeah. So I think the technology is coming, but it has a ways to go, which the technology is moving rapidly fast right now. I mean, it's just amazing.
I think
Yeah.
it was 2 or 3 years ago. You're the one that sent me this. I want to know if you still use it because I still do. On my phone, it's labeled PI, P as in Paul, I as in India. Do,
Yes.
do you still use that?
Sometimes.
I use it
Yeah.
every day. I love it. I just
Yeah.
love the sound of her voice, dude. Like, I haven't had a woman talk to me in years, so that's why
Uh-oh.
that's why I use it. And she has
Yeah. No.
such a happy-go-lucky voice, though. Too. I'm like, do you have that? Do you
Okay.
know what I'm talking about, Flavius? What does PI
No.
stand for, Mike? Personal something.
Oh, I can't remember, to be honest. Hi, that's
I'll
all I
Okay.
send
know.
I'll send you the app. It's pretty much like
Yeah. Be my
uh,
eyes.
what's that one that everyone uses now?
Be my eyes.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Or
Yeah.
what's the
Yeah,
other
the other
one?
one, Envision or Seeing AI or something like
Seeing AI.
that.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
do you use those? I use
Oh yeah,
BMI. Not BMI. I'm thinking about music. Be My Eyes.
yeah.
I used that once, and the glasses can get kind of tricky. I was looking for like some seasoning in the cabinet, and the glasses said it's in the back towards the left, and then I called Be My Eyes, and this lady's driving, and she's like, "Oh no, there's nothing there." I'm like, "Oh man, the glasses flipping lied to me." So have you ever had that situation, bro? Like the glasses ain't telling you the
Oh
truth.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Then you pull out your phone and use the other tools in your toolbox, right? So
It's
that's
just cool though. I mean, both of you guys could probably agree because we all use the Meta glasses.
Yeah.
That it's hands free. I mean,
uh,
you ain't gonna be
no,
like
that's right.
angling this and angling that.
Right.
So
So just focusing on technology for a second, the other thing that kind of inspired me, and I tell this story all the time as well, is, and this sounds pretty Mickey Mouse for us now, but I was in the hospital. It's probably about 2 or 3 months after my injury. Well, I don't care if you're sighted or whatever. Time in a hospital is just weird. I mean, you lose track of time. You lose, you just there's no sense of anything in there. At least there isn't for me.
Yeah.
So one of the
what about the
guy that
hospital
became a
food? Did
very
you
good,
have good hospital food?
well, no, that I'll tell you that. Just let me finish this and I'll go back to that. So he, I remember this guy coming from the blind organization, and he gave me my first talking watch. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, I remember
wow.
those.
Like it's just, I was just blown away. And it's like,
Yeah.
so that kind of pushed me to be a sponge. I wanted more. I wanted more and I wanted more and I wanted more. And so, yeah, so that was part of it. And then, just getting introduced to the iPhone. When I heard about the iPhone for the first time, I thought, no, how the heck does a blind guy use a touch screen? I don't think so. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
It
I
was
think I
tough
had a
though.
similar reaction. Yeah.
It took me 2.5 2 weeks. I had to immerse into the iPhone. Like, I put
yeah,
my Cordy phone away, and I just immersed into it. Like 2 weeks later, boom, I was off to the races. But I get you though.
yeah,
Touchscreens.
no,
Now
it's
I just
crazy.
use a Bluetooth keyboard because
Perfect.
it'll take me like a month just to write one sentence.
Yeah.
Touchscreen. But yeah. So tell us about this business that you got going on over there, and how long have you been doing it? What is it?
So a guy approached me probably back in about 1999, maybe something. A guy that I worked for and did some stuff, and he said, and at that time it was called Grade One barrel, not uncontracted barrel. And he says, "Do you know that?" I said, "Yep." He says, "You want to barrel some cars for me?" Like, sure. So I was doing it with a Perkins barreler, which is a manual
Yeah.
typewriter.
Yeah.
Old
That's how I
school,
started.
yeah.
Old school. So yeah, as you're sitting there typing these cards, it's very repetitive. You don't you have 500 cards of the same person, just over and over and over and over and over and over. Anyways, I said there's got to be a better way. So as I said before, I was welder, I was a mechanic, I was a machinist. I could almost make anything out of nothing. So I didn't make it, I designed a braille press.
Wow.
So I approached the University of Calgary here for the fourth year mechanical engineering students and said, hey, you guys want to build this for me? They built it. We built this manual press. So it's essentially a press that you get from a hardware store, and it's for pressing out bearings and stuff like that for cars, and it's called an arbor press.
Yeah.
So we made a plate, and then we made dies for each of the letters in the Braille alphabet, made out of a 1/16th ball bearing pressed into brass. So each of the letters in the alphabet have are a single die. So we started. I built that, used that for a long time, and then maybe a year and a half ago, or maybe even just 2 years ago, we built an electric press. So I'm actually sitting in front of it right now, and it's basically the same concept. It's using the same letters, it's using the same things, but it actually runs on a electric wheelchair motor.
Wow.
So we basically took a bunch of junk and we made this press. So
Yeah.
so so
Like,
what I do is one part of my business is we braille business cards as a marketing tool. Not, yes, it's for literacy as well, but mostly most people that get it done is for that different look for their business card or diversity or whatever. So I do thousands and thousands and thousands of cards. So and then
that's
that
great.
yeah, and then I have a business partner that's a Braille transcriber, which I'm not. She does all of our Braille documents and like menus and that kind of stuff. We don't have a
Do you
whole lot
guys
of
use
business, but
But
Duxbury?
that's like
okay.
Gutenberg 2.0 you went with that press. That's
Uh,
that's clever.
So do you guys
yeah,
use like
yeah.
Duxbury for the braille translation, or is it by hand? You
I
s-
believe she uses Duxbury. She may use something. I'm not sure if she uses something else or some.
or what? I mean, there's other ones out there, but like
That's
Duxbury
her
is like,
side of the business. So yeah. So
yeah. Mike's like, that's none of my business.
yeah, the cow. Nope. I'm pretty sure
That's
that's what
great
you.
though.
I don't know that
To,
stuff, to be honest.
but to come up with that hardware, that's very ingenious. Good for you.
So
Well,
you do
as you
business
guys,
cards then, right? So like, if people wanted to order business cards or have them made, they could contact you somehow.
I don't make the cards. I would. a blind guy making business cards, I'd probably screw up on something for the printing. I mean, we've got just 250 print shops just in this city. I can't compete with that. So
Yeah.
people just ship me their cards, and then I pound them off, right? So yeah, so easy. And then the other side of my business is I've done this for probably about, I don't know, 15 years. I also teach other blind people JAWS on a basic level.
Yeah.
So then we do. Yeah. That's about it.
Basic level.
That's a lot.
So basic level. So if somebody wanted to get training from you, how would they contact you?
You just go to my website, barrellet.ca.
You want to spell that out for the listeners? And I'll put it in the show notes too.
Yeah, that's fine. BRAILLE, which is Braille, then IT for it, and then .ca, which is Canada.
Okay.
Good.
And you
Yeah.
work using Zoom, Teams, Skype, which is no longer in business, but just to let the listeners know.
There's a program built right into JAWS called Tandem. So I connect to their computer and I host their computer on my computer. So that's we connect that way. And then usually we just use the phone.
But I think the caveat though with Tandem, you need to be using the same version.
Close, yeah. You can go back a few. I have to be certainly ahead of them, which I keep my JAWS up to date. So, and I find that most people are a new user, so I use the phone just because for them to navigate whatever with JAWS or even VoiceOver, which is on the iPhone.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Probably a barrier there.
Yeah.
So let's make it. I just make it simple. Just use the phone.
So you would be
But
calling them though, right? Because like we don't know if our listeners have
or vice versa.
international calling.
Yeah.
free international calling. That would be expensive.
Oh yeah, no, they're right. Yeah. I can call them. I have calling in all of North America. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's one way to keep engaged with Mike. Just pay him; he'll call you because he and we talk to each other. We talk to each other like every 2 months.
Very good.
Because we talk to each other like every 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Me and Mike.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
But,
Good.
So, any words of wisdom? This has been a great, great, great conversation.
Indeed.
Any advice for the listeners out there? Unless Flavius, you got some comments or questions that you want to throw.
No,
in there?
I would be very interested if Mike does have any insights beyond what we've talked about that have helped him. I would love to hear that.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Well, first and foremost, just giving you guys a plug. I mean, it's keep listening. You guys are going to have more guests. Everybody has a different perspective.
Yeah.
Just another little quick story, and that inspired me. This shows my age. So the very first computer course I took from the Canadian National Institute for the Blind was learning DOS.
Oh yeah.
So we were in the lunchroom one day, and there was another client there doing something else in the building that wasn't in our class. And this individual, we got talking and said, we shared how long we were blind. I was only blind for a couple of years. And this person says, here's a little trick for you. I said, okay. He says, do you have trouble putting toothpaste on your toothbrush? Uh-huh. Yeah, get it all over. Why? He says, just have your own tube of toothpaste and squirt it in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's so simple, but those are the things that make the difference. The little things that, you know what? if you want to mark your keyboard with some locator dots, if that makes it easier, maybe you have some, diabetic retinopathy or something in your fingers,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, do those little things that will make a big difference.
Yeah. Dare to adapt. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that huge. I do that still. Almost 32 years later, I'm still squirting the toothpaste in my mouth. I mean, and people, they go, oh yeah, well, you're putting it in your mouth anyway. What's the difference?
Yeah. That's right.
Well, you see, this is why I
It's
wanted
so much easier.
Mike.
Just let you don't always have to do things the hard thing.
This is why I wanted him to be the first guest. Like I will joke with him on the phone. Like I'll text him, "Good morning, my hero," you know, and then he'll ask me to do something like a favor or whatever. I'm like, "Anything for you, my hero," because to lose your
Very
vision
good.
and to be paralyzed from the way I'm like, because Mike really helped me as an adult, still like in my 40s. I'm like, what the hell am I complaining
No,
about? You know what I mean? Like,
we all have a story.
yeah, but when I heard his, I'm like, dude, I'm not complaining anymore. Forget it, because
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know how
I'm
I
sure
would have
we will
handled it.
all. I'm sure we will all live to complain another day. But Mike,
Absolutely.
I have to agree with Kim's friend. It's an incredible story.
Yeah, and I think it's for me, and maybe I do this too much, and I probably annoy and piss some of my friends off, but I mean, I've always used humor, always. Just
Yeah.
that get like I tell bad jokes or dad jokes
I
or
was about to
whatever.
say it's not dad humor, is it? Like I have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I tell everybody there's a wonderful thing about being blind and paralyzed. And they're like, what? First of all, it saves on the light bill, and second of all, I don't wear my shoes out.
There you go.
That light
A
bill though,
silver lining. Yeah.
that light bill though, I can respect that, man, because all my life, not all my life, but ever since I bought homes and
Yes,
had kids, and their friends would come over. I even heard one of their friends. They were like, "Why does your dad always have all the lights off when we come over?" And, and then they're like,
Yeah.
cause he's blind." So my kids would walk around with their flashlights on their phone when they come home, bro. Like
hilarious.
I'm like, it's okay to turn on the lights, guys. I just
Yeah.
turn it off because I can't see anyways. You know.
I know.
Yeah,
I was kind of glad. I was glad to move on into the smart lights era where you could just get an app to control all that stuff. And then
absolutely. Yes.
when people come over, friends coming over to play music or whatever, you just turn them on.
Right. I think also be true to yourself. I think no matter what your situation is, I mean, whether it's a disability, it's or whatever, just hey, we all need help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Yeah,
And
man. Put that pride aside. People just gotta put that pride aside. Like
yep,
even when I'm trying to
yep,
teach my younger ones, right? They're not young, but they're like in their early 20s. I'm like, guys,
right.
ladies, you can't do everything on your own. It's okay to ask help. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep, sure. And we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like I said, simple
Yeah.
thing like that toothpaste story. I mean, we don't. People. There's been people ahead of us, or ahead of the listeners that they've made those mistakes. Learn from them.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
yeah, and it's
It's
okay to make mistakes. I'll
I
give
don't
you
know.
guys one. I'll give you guys a mistake that I made the other day. It kind of turned out pretty good though. So I like to eat butter with my rice, right? So I just reached into the fridge and I grabbed this tub and I just put a whole bunch of stuff in the
Uh-oh.
rice. It wasn't that bad. I ended up putting cream cheese in the rice. So try it out. Cream cheese with rice.
No, that one you could recover from
Yeah.
You
that.
could recover of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like the old comic used to do about the cat running into the glass door and saying, "Well, I meant that." You would just tell people you intended to put that cream cheese.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
another one though. This goes back to my oldest daughter being in 6th grade. She was heading out to go to the bus, but I thought I'd be nice and make her some hot cocoa before she leaves. But I was like 98% asleep. I grabbed a package from the macaroni box. You
Yep.
know,
Oh,
because
Yep.
it felt just like the one with the hot cocoa. So I put the water, Da da da. I put the cheese in there, and I mixed it all up. I'm like, oh man, she's gonna be nice and toasty and warm when she goes wait for the bus. No wonder she rushed out the house. Like, no, it's okay, Dad. I'll drink something later. I'm gonna be late for the bus, and then I'm like, then I get ready for work. I'm like, I'll drink it. Then forget it. I took a big swig. I was like, ugh.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm like,
A
oops.
shock.
It's interesting you bring up that kind of stuff. This is something I've talked about for quite a few years, and you guys are actually inspiring me to kind of give me a kick in my butt. I've always wanted to write and collect, well, first of all, collect stories like what you guys are just talking about, and write a disability bloopers book.
Oh,
Yeah.
bloopers book. There you go. You know what though?
So,
Off topic though. Like when I first met Flavius,
yeah.
he talked about writing stories. Maybe you guys off the record could. I mean, his stories. I think they're different from what you want to do. But hey, it doesn't matter. You guys
No.
You
Yeah.
guys could
No,
bounce
but
ideas off each other. You know.
we maybe could. Yeah, because I
We
do
could,
like
yeah,
to
yeah.
write. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Nice.
could tell. I mean, once if you ever start texting with Flavius, Mike, I will warn you. He write. If you ask him like, "What are you doing tomorrow?" He'll tell you the whole damn week what he's doing. He can't just tell you, "I'm going to the store to get milk, bro." He's gonna be like, "Yeah,
All right.
I'm gonna put on my shoes, put on my boxers."
Yeah.
He's gonna tell you the whole
Hey.
story.
If you don't want to know, don't ask. Yeah, because I'll tell you.
Awesome.
Right.
I'm telling you, Flavius, he's like I always say.
I do that sometimes. Somebody will say, "How are you doing?" I say, "How long?"
Yeah.
I always say, "How long do you have?" I
That's
can tell you how I am, but it's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about Flavius though. Like I tell people
That's awesome.
I
I
tell
love it.
people about Flavius that he's one of them guys like if you ask him what time it is, he's gonna tell you how the watch was made kind of deal. So if you got time to listen, then yeah, start asking him questions. But I love him anyways, man. And I love you too, Mike.
All
I
right,
love the
now
fact that you took some time off for us and we appreciate
Yes,
the time.
thanks a lot, Mike. Indeed.
Now to end
This
this,
has
I
been
have a
a
question. I have a
pleasure.
question.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, let's tell your listeners for towards the end, because this is part of it as well. Let's hear about your guys' music. Tell us a little bit.
Okay.
Brad,
You go first.
Okay, so me, I do hip hop, hip hop slash rap. I mainly just talk about whatever is on my mind at the time. Like one time I wrote a song called "Clear My Head."
Yep.
It's just about
Sure.
I was thinking back to the times when my youngest daughter was going through drug addiction and stuff like that. I was thinking about people ripping me off. What's real friends? What's not? I thought about when my dad wasn't around. Basically, just a guy just clearing his head, sitting in his room, and everything just flowing through his dome, so to speak. And other songs were like "Tell Me Why." That was my first song that I put out. A guy talking about how he lost his best friend. Falling in love. That's self-explanatory. So, and Flavius, you could tell Mike a little bit about your rock and roll days.
My
back in
music, my
please.
music has always been more performative. I write a little bit, but I've always been in some kind of amateur band situation.
Nice.
And I was I play guitar and sang. And one reason my voice is so croaky is because I sang a little too much after I got older.
That's fine.
But yeah,
Do you
I
have
have
any
always
recordings of that we can play on the podcast one of these days, Flavius? Like, I know.
I'll have to look and see.
That'd be good.
I don't have that many recordings of like band stuff that I did, but I'll see what I can find.
So, any last minute advice, encouragement for the listeners, Mike, before we let you go? And again, also, if you want to plug anything, like you already did it earlier, but you could say it again,
Yeah.
or
That's okay.
if you have an email address so people can contact you if they want, go for it. But
Yeah, it's Mike@brailleit.ca. So it's the same as the website, but it's just Mike, all small letters in the beginning.
Okay.
So simple. So just one thing to think of, if you meet a girl or you meet a guy, whatever it is, you don't have to play guitar, but but you can tell them you snap a mean G string.
I will keep track of that one. Thank you,
Oh,
sir.
You can have that one, pal.
Very good.
Oh, I love that.
Mike,
That was awesome.
that's great. And Mike, it has been a pleasure. I've
Absolutely,
really
guys.
enjoyed
Thank you.
this.
If you guys put up a link to your music somehow or some form, I'd like to get a link to the podcast because I want to keep listening as well. So,
Oh
you
yeah.
never
So
know where
it'll
you
be
listen
thank
or
you.
whatever.
it'll
Yeah,
be
for sure.
on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one you use. I'm working on that. You know.
No, I know.
Yeah,
This is all
so.
new for you guys and stuff. It's great.
No, it's just one of
Yeah.
those things, bro. It's just like not enough time in the day, and I also got to sleep too. But
That was a good
yeah,
idea.
so which one do you listen to before we let you go? Do you listen to you use Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music?
Yeah, I use Prime
Okay, so you got
mostly.
Amazon Music then. So
That's correct.
yeah,
Yes.
you can catch us there once, and I will text you when it's up and running.
Will you guys be on the and I don't know too much about this on the Alexa devices?
Oh
Is
yeah,
there
because Amazon Music,
on that's
you
a link there too? Yeah.
yeah you could say hey blah 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 play such and such on Amazon Music, and it will.
Yep.
So. But yeah, sir. Once again, thank you for your time, and it's
Oh, you're
deeply
welcome.
appreciated.
And then
Any last words, Polybius, for him?
No, I just want to thank you again, Mike.
No,
Really
thank you.
enjoyed getting to hear your story.
And the one to leave everybody with is how many blind guys does it take to change a light bulb?
How many?
Who gives a shit?
All right.
On that note, you have a good day, sir, and
Thanks,
I
gentlemen.
will
We'll
be
be in touch.
texting you.
And yeah, maybe we'll connect up, Brad, and we can maybe talk about
Yeah,
some of
about
that
the
writing
writing.
stuff.
Okay,
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
good.
So, Kimson, feel free to give him my telephone number, even my house number. That'd be fine. And then
Perfect.
give me
I'll
a
do
text,
that. Yeah, I'll
and I'll
do.
get a number.
Yeah, I'll
That'd
do
be
that
great.
right when we are done with the show, sir.
And it was a very, very honored to be here as you guys'
Great. Well,
first
thank you.
guest. Extremely nice to meet you too, Brad. Look forward to crossing paths. So, all right.
All right, sir. Stay blessed.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Take
you.
care. I'll hang up.
All right.
So, there's our first guest.
Very interesting.
What did you think, Flavius?
Oh,
Favorably impressed.
I'm trying to
That's
shut off here, guys.
that's okay.
Yeah, there's a. I think you can kick him out, but we don't want to kick him out. He probably won't
No.
come back. But
He'll ease on out. But yeah,
But,
that's
so yeah, quick
incredible.
thoughts though before we end the show here. So, like, what did you think of his story? And that's like I said, man. That's why I chose him, because his story really,
Yeah.
really
Well-
inspired me, but at the same time devastated me. But like,
Yeah,
because
But,
how could
you
you,
know, a
go
very-
through that though, man? Like, to lose sight and
but it's like what he said. He said you just get it done. Earlier.
But where do
I
you
was
get that
talking-
from, though? So that's what I'm saying, though. It's like that has to be instilled from somebody somewhere. So that probably could have
Right,
came
but,
from his
you know,
family or something. You know,
He
what I mean?
mentioned that his dad said, we don't go into town, we fix it
Exactly.
here. And again, you can see where that must have been a kind of a principle for him, like when he invented the Braille press. That's really kind of a pretty out there feat of hardware to be able to come up with something like that. But yeah, I think we all have different strengths. I myself can't imagine the multiple adaptations he had to deal with, but he certainly did it. So it can be done. And I think that's kind of why you wanted to do the podcast to begin with, to show people that, yeah, there usually is a way for
If
those
there's a
of us without
will, there's a
vision.
way.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever the challenge is.
I mean, but again, again, it could be from, like you said, the support system he had with his dad. But it'll be interesting to get different stories from other guests. Like, how did they manage it? Because it's not that, I don't want to say easy, but like,
Yeah.
can you just sit there and, I gotta man up and do this and do that? Can everybody listening do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're
Well,
22, 32, 62, 30, whatever, is it that
yeah.
easy just to flip that light? So,
Well, but he never said it was easy. He just said that he did it. It's like, earlier I was telling you about Leah has that ability to power through. Uh, Sometimes you just have to realize it's going to be, as they say, a long, hard slog, and start slogging. And it sounds like that's what Mike did.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not trying to, be Mr. Difficult, but I'm just like, it's very, very admirable. And that's why
Yeah.
I love the man. I've never met him in my entire life, but
Yeah.
we, I think what got us on the right track, not the right track, but what connected us was we both have a love for teaching assistive
Yeah.
technology,
Yeah.
and we met in the Forbidden Planet. You know what I'm talking about. That's where
Oh,
we,
yeah. Yeah. We'll
that's
be
where we,
headed there shortly. I know. Yeah.
but yeah, guys. So the info is and will be in the show notes. His email address, his website. Um, I will link my YouTube page on there as well as I wait for my EP to drop. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share, and subscribe, and tell someone that knows someone that knows someone. It doesn't have to be specifically blind folks. I mean, just share it. That's what, because like I said on the
There you
first
go.
podcast, it's blind awareness for us on the daily. We don't have a specific month for us. At least I'm not speaking for Flavius, but this podcast, we're not just gonna pick. Oh, October, that's when we're gonna start pimping the blind awareness thing. No, it's every time we come out. So again, my email address, it's kims4n at gmail.com. And you want to say yours real quick?
And mine again is bradford.trainham@gmail.com. And we'll get that in the notes. And thanks again for listening.
All right, guys. I'm out of here. You guys stay blessed, stay humble, and stay hungry. Peace out.